been another very busy day in the games industry as the new year begins to kick things up a notch. We have a contender for the biggest leak of 2023 so far. Today, I'm going to show you our January gaming news roundup. Before the video begins, please give it a like. And if you want to see more, please subscribe to the Gaming United channel. Now, let's begin. New PlayStation commercial shows Sony is leaving PS4 behind. Sony could very well be leaving the PS4 behind, at least according to a recently released commercial showing only upcoming games for PS5. This really would be the end of an era. The second best-selling console of all time for Sony is of course the PS4, having moved more than 117 million units from launch. Naughty Dog is taking game direction tips from Hidetaka Miyazaki and Elden Ring. For a while now, From Software games have had a more unique way of telling stories, letting the environment do the talking while players piece things together. This was also evident in Elden Ring, a game which has turned the head of Naughty Dog co-president Neil Druckmann. It seems like Druckmann is a fan of this kind of storytelling, and even hints that it may be something the studio implements in its games going forward. Final Fantasy XVI's producers' PC port comments have confused fans. Unfortunately for everyone that doesn't own a PS5 yet, the upcoming release of Final Fantasy XVI will be exclusive to that console. However, producer Naoki Yoshida seemingly threw out a lifeline for PC players before quickly retracting it. He seemed to hint at a potential PC port during an online Mahjong tournament, but then quickly clarified that players will need to buy a PS5 to play it. Red Dead Redemption 2 reaches new concurrent player peak on Steam despite lack of updates. Even though Rockstar has all but abandoned the title, Red Dead Redemption 2 is still going strong on Steam. In fact, it's doing so well that the title managed to reach a new concurrent player peak of 69,134 on January 8th. It's not clear why so many people have decided to go on a rootin' tootin' adventure, but the closure of Stadia and the game's recent inclusion in the Christmas sales will likely have contributed. Forza Horizon leads form new studio, developing AAA open-world game. On to a bit of industry news now, as several developers that worked on the Forza Horizon series for Playground Games have left to set up a new studio. Maverick Games is the name of the company, and it will be led by Forza's former creative director, Mike Brown. It even has its first game in development, which is confirmed to be an open-world title. Streamer beats Elden Ring twice at same time with controller and dance mat. We're gonna circle back around to Elden Ring for this next one. Fans of the game will probably be aware of the exploits of Twitch streamer Miss Mika, who has been completing Elden Ring in a number of completely baffling ways ever since launch. She recently made headlines for beating Millennia twice in two separate games at the same time, one with a dance mat and another with a controller. Well, she finally accomplished her final goal today, taking down Radagon and the Elden Beast in the same manner. F1 driver Max Verstappen rage quits clown show Le Mans Virtual. The world-famous race car driver Max Verstappen took part in the 24 Hours of Le Mans Virtual this week, only to rage quit after a series of disruptive disconnections. Quote, "You prepare for 5 months to try and win this championship, you're leading the championship, you're trying to win this race which you prepared for 2 months, and they handle it like this. I mean, there have been 2 red flags. They blame it on, I don't even know what, people DDoSing the server," Verstappen said at the time. "Honestly, it's a joke. You cannot call this an event. It's a clown show." The driver added that, quote, "I think I'm going to uninstall the game." That's nice. Frees up a bit of space. EU to issue statement of objections over Microsoft-Activision merger. The ongoing merger between Microsoft and Activision Blizzard has taken yet another turn, as the European Union plans to issue a statement of objections over the matter. Quote, "We're continuing to work with the European Commission to address any marketplace concerns," a spokesman for Microsoft remarked. "Our goal is to bring more games to more people, and this deal will further that goal." Atomic Heart dev won't, quote, "comment on politics," following criticism over Ukraine war stance. The developer behind the upcoming Atomic Heart, Mundfish, won't, quote, comment on politics, following a wave of criticism concerning their stance on the war in Ukraine. Quote, "We want to assure you that Mundfish is a developer and studio with a global team focused on an innovative game and is undeniably a pro-peace organization against violence against people," the company announced. "We do not comment on politics or religion." Mundfish was previously accused of being favorable to Russia by fans and followers. Lost Ark devs say mass player bans were caused by a bug. Accounts will be restored. The recent mass player bans in Lost Ark were apparently caused by a bug, at least according to the developers Tripod Studio and Smilegate. Quote, "Following a recent wave of bot bans, we've seen an increase in ban appeals from players who have been incorrectly impacted by these bans," a post on the official forum explains. "We have determined the error that triggered these false bans and are actively working on reversing them for all affected legitimate players, regardless of whether a support ticket has been filed." Justin Roiland's Squanch Games settled a sexual harassment lawsuit in 2018. The company behind the recently released High on Life, Squanch Games, appears to have settled a sexual harassment lawsuit back in 2018. This particular developer was, of course, founded by Justin Roiland, someone currently at the center of a developing controversy. Quote, "Squanch Games is committed to creating an inclusive and supportive work environment for our team," a spokesperson from the studio explained. "We don't publicly disclose personnel matters, and we stand by the decision we made in 2017 not to reveal the confidential information as it relates to this case." AGDQ raises $2.6 million for Prevent Cancer. The popular speedrunning event called Awesome Games Done Quick just raised $2.6 million for cancer prevention. Quote, "Thank you to everyone who made this marathon possible, and to all of you for your amazing generosity and support." AGDQ said after the final speedrunning session, "See you all next time at SGDQ 2023 from May 28th to June 4th. The Callisto Protocol reportedly fails to recoup $162 million budget. The Callisto Protocol has failed to recoup its $162 million budget, receiving mixed reviews shortly after launch. The game was even so big that some people started referring to the project as Quadruple A during development. Well, that's the end of that one. Thank you for watching, and please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and enable post alerts to view more of our future videos. After saying that, keep watching our videos, and I'll speak with you in the next one.